regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a hot minute since anything has actually been released, but you know, trying to get back on schedule. You know, sometimes life gets in the way, all that good stuff. So anyway, I'm blabbing along. So today I'm doing a story time. It's going to be about the time I got scammed out of like £700, about £700, yeah. So yeah, like it's not like a funny story or, you know, hella tea and stuff. It's just, you know, one could learn from my mistakes, me and my girl's mistakes. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. So this happened about, when this happened? About 2 years ago, yeah. So it was the summer, so 2015, the summer just before I was to start third year. And initially I was like, I'm not getting a house, I'm just gonna commute for third year, because I thought like paying agency fees and rent is just just a bit of a bop, like it's a scam in itself, because I know third year I'm not gonna be there for a long time. So I was thinking, let me save myself some money, like let me save my loan and commute. But then I was like, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna commute. Then at last minute, I was like, actually no, you know what? I'm not gonna commute. Let me live like by uni, because I just thought I'd be more motivated to go in and do my work. And because I know me, sometimes I can just be really lazy and just not want to do anything at all. So I was like, you know what, let me actually find a house. So me and my other friends, we didn't have houses, so I was like, okay, let's just look for a house together. It's just two of us, like, I'm sure we can find somewhere to live. And we were determined to not be with an agency. I was like, no agency, because first of all, the agency fees are mad. And then you have to do deposit, and then you gotta do this and that. Nah, I'm not down for that. So we were looking at private landlords. We're looking at private landlords, and yeah, I found there was a website on our uni accommodation site that like had a list of like private landlords that were renting out, but some of them were either like too far. Okay, first of all, you know what, when I think about it now, I was like, really and truly, Cheryl, you're asking for a bit too much at the very last minute. So we wanted, bearing in mind this last minute, by the way, we were looking for somewhere that was not too pricey and is very close to uni, because my first year and my second year, I have lived quite a distance from uni. As in first year, most of my money was spent on bus, okay? Second year was good. I mean, we would walk, but sometimes that walk would be long when it's cold. See, and the buses where I went uni, they don't run often, and they end at like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. So it used to be a cab thing if we're not walking. So I was like, third year, I'm determined to live close. If I'm gonna live up in uni, I'm living close. Like, I'm living close. We'll get to that if I live close or not. So we're here being a bit choosy, a bit picky. So then I was just going through, or both going through these private landlords. Some of them were like 7-bedroom, 5-bedroom. I was like, listen, I'm not trying to live with nobody that I don't know, because I did that in first year. And boy, that was quite an experience, to say. I mean, got some stories about my, actually I should do like a first year experience story, because me and my girl got stories from first year. But so yeah, so then I found one, guys. When I tell you I found one, it was like reasonable. It was like 400 or 4 something a month, including, it was all inclusive. It was close to uni, as in it was so like I said, yeah, it was close to uni, as in uni was like here, and the house was like literally across the road. Like, it would be a 3-minute walking journey, if that, if you're driving, like seconds, honestly. I was just like, yep, I'm definitely going to be attending my 9 a.m. boy. Yeah, I'm living across the road. And it was just, the house was buff. Well, from the pictures, the house was buff. my room had ensuite, my girl's room had ensuite. I was like, it's about time. Like, you know, I just want my own bathroom, I just want my own privacy, I just want my own space. And it's by uni. I thought, yep. So straight away I showed her, she's like, yep, she's down for it. Emailed the guy now. No, the email, I think I called him. Okay, so this is where the story begins. So I called him and asked a few questions about the house, and then she called him also and asked some questions. And you know what we never clocked? We never clocked if this person or this agency, whoever we were supposedly renting out the house from, it was only ever the one guy that ever answered the phone. If you have an office, how can one guy always be answering the phone? Like how? Like, but obviously, you know, when you're desperate, time is ticking, you're not thinking, you're just thinking, I'd be answering the phone all the time. I didn't hear no female voice, there wasn't even like background chatter, there was not even the fake phone ring, there was no like biscuit crunching, tea dipping, nothing. Like, it was just this one guy. So I was all like, yeah, I've spoken to him. She's like, yeah, I've spoken to him. And he said to email over our details, and I'm talking about passport, like he wanted to photocopy of our passport. I'm talking about like details because we're like, let's secure the house. And I remember I was working at something, so every bit of money I would just be saving it, just in, because initially I wasn't gonna live in uni, but I was still saving money just in case of anything. So I remember we were sending over, and then he sent us the bank details for us to transfer the money before we get to transferring the money. So I remember, because of, wow, out of focus, because of the way my work pattern was and where I was working at the time, there was no way that I really had time to go up to my uni, and try and view this place. Like, I was, that summer, if I did not work with you, I did not see you. My girl who I was looking to share, to get the house with, she was still working up in our uni town, uni city, whatever. So she was the one that kind of went to view the house. Okay, so she went to view the house. I'm jumping ahead because I'm still so wow. I'm just still so wow about it, you know. So I remember I called him. I don't think he answered. Then I called him, then he called me back and I said, oh, is there, before we send the money, is there a chance that we can view the property, or like at least my friend can go and view the property to see what it's like? Because, oh man, who's just sending money for something that they haven't sent? I mean, I did it first year. But anyway, so I don't talk about that. So he gave me some excuse that, oh, you can't, I can't give you the keys, or I can't, like, you can't come and view the property because of X, Y, Z. And when I think about it now, like, literally guys, there were signs, as in there were signs. First of all, how can we only be speaking to the one person? Secondly, how is it that we can't view the property, or we had to book it, like we couldn't book a time slot? I don't know, he just gave us some, I don't even know if I even have the emails, because no, I don't even look if I have the emails, because if I do, I think I'll just get angry again. But he either gave us some excuse like, oh, you can't view it, or you can only view it between like a certain time, or like 2 weeks after, or something dumb like that. And I mean, I did question it, alarm bells were ringing, but in my head I just thought, oh, you know what, like, it's a house, like, it's near uni, it's not too expensive. Like, in terms of if we had gone with an agency, that would be like just agency fees, and then you got to pay deposit on top, and then you got to pay like a month and a half, whatever. So she was like, okay, on my way to work, I'm gonna stop by the house because it's near work. I said fine. And then I remember she called me, she was like, I think I was at work, she called me and she was like, oh, I walked by the house and it looked like people lived there. I was like, wait, what? She's like, it looks like people live there. I was like, did you knock on the door to like find out? She's like, no, because she was on her way to work. I was like, right. I was like, okay, I'm gonna call this guy again. So now I'm calling this guy. I was like, can we not? Is there no way we can try to see this property? blah blah blah. I don't know how he sweet talked or turned the situation, but anyway, in the end we sent the money. So my room was, I think, 700, and my girl's room was about 850 because her room was a bit bigger. About 850 her room was. So he's now sent over all the bank details, yeah, and we all sent over like our passport, photocopy of our passport, blah blah blah. Because you know the ones when you're desperate and there are like lots of people looking at this property, they really just twanged us, as in. And when you're desperate, you don't think straight and deep. So like when people are desperate, or when you're in a bit of a bind, you're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking properly. So we had sent over all our details, and he sent over the bank details to transfer the money. At the time, I wasn't too educated about if I transfer money and it's not this, will I get my money back? I wasn't really educated on that. So I had never been scammed. Like, I had never been scammed. So we sent over, and it was to a bank in Northern Ireland. So I even had to pay some charges because, you know, it's international. However they did it, it wasn't, you know. So we've now sent over, I've now transferred the money, my girls transferred the money, and he's all like, so transferred the money, and then I called him, or I emailed him, we emailed him to say, oh, have you received the funds, have you received it, like, can we come and collect the keys, like tomorrow or something, because he was like, as soon as you sort of, like, send it over everything, the keys will be ready for you at the office. So cool, we sent the money, he's confirmed, yeah, I've received it, guys. I kid you not. That was the last time, the very last time I ever heard from this person, we ever heard from this man again. So yeah, I remember now, I remember this so clearly. So I think my friend was off, or she was about, or whatever. No, she said, okay, yeah, she was in our uni town, and what happened? I was at work, but I was like, I'll have my phone on me, just keep me updated. So she said she's gonna go to the office, because we googled and it was an actual building. However, I did have my suspicions, because on Google Images it wasn't looking, it looked a bit like an industrial. Listen, I was just silly. I was just silly. Let's just call it that. Spade a spade. I was silly. We were stupid. So she's like, she's gone to the place now. She's like, Cheryl, like, it's locked. Like, it doesn't exist. Like, there's no office there. And I said, huh? And I remember I was like, wait, what? So she's like, I'm trying to call him. I'm like, to my manager, I need to go outside and make some phone calls, because I'm about to get angry. I'm calling, the man's not answering, I'm calling. And I think it now even said like, this number is no longer available, So I was like to my friend, like, wait, he's not answering. We're there sending emails. Sending emails, yeah. Bear in mind, my account thing is gone, the money is gone. Now the phone, you can no longer get through to the number. It was like, oh, this number is no longer in service, whatever. The building doesn't exist, and my emails were getting bounced back. Yeah, that's it. The emails were getting bounced back, and I thought, you know, when it's like, oh, mail, whatever, it was getting sent back to me, and I thought. I remember I was at work and I was so stressed, so I called up 999. I called the police. And I was like, I've been scammed, and they passed me over to Action Fraud. So I was like to my friend, get on the phone now. Passed me over to Action Fraud, and I told them everything that happened. I was so stressed. I was like, I remember I was at work, and yeah, so I called Action Fraud, and I was just waiting for them to get back to me, and they were like, they've looked into it. I gave them all the account details, everything. They're like, the account, there's no money, like, the money's gone, the account is closed, like, boom, like, it's a scam. So I was like, is there any way I can get my money back? Is there any way I can get my money back? Guys, till this blessed day, as in, they must have sent me a letter around, I think maybe April, May this year. It was beginning of this year anyway, before summer, or maybe it was during summer. they sent me, I even got a further letter to say the investigation is now closed. Bear in mind, this happened in 2015 and we are now at the end of 2017. And all now, my £700, they can't find it, they can't locate the person, they can't trace nothing, like it is gone. And because I use my debit card, like I didn't have a credit card then, so I didn't know like it's better to use your credit cards and stuff like that, or that I wasn't educated. I used my debit card. So with debit card fraud, like I know more now, it's tough to get your money back. I didn't get my money back, my girl didn't get her money back, and when we were homeless. So I'm here now, I'm stressing, because I'm like, raw, like I have no house. And I'm like, now we have to go through an agency. So now we have to go through an agency, and I'm thinking that is peas, that's money. Agency money is not small, that is quite a lot of money. I'm thinking, right, like all my pay literally in the last couple of months before I left work to go back to uni, all that money went to this house. So she found an agency which was a bit more, like the price were a bit more cheaper or whatever. I can't even talk about that house, because when I think about that house, it makes my body crawl. Anyway, so she found a house, her and her boyfriend went to go view it, and they were like, we just need one more person for the house, because it's a 4-bed house. No, it's a 3-bed house. Yeah, it was a 3-bed house, but her and her boyfriend were sharing one room. I was gonna have my own room, and then we needed someone else. So at the time, I knew someone who was starting our uni, like me and her were cool, and she still hadn't found a house. So I was like, do you want to just join with us? She was like, yeah. Like, thank you, So bearing in mind, I left everything to my girl and her man. They sorted out everything. I sent over the money, bish bash bosh. They sorted out everything. So it was the day now to move in. I viewed this property. This was the first time I saw the house when I was moving in, after I collected my keys. First of all, it was a distance from uni. Again, like it was near my old houses. Like, secondly, I can't, guys, all I'm gonna say, that house was so disgusting, as in it was, I feel sick. Like my body itches. I remember my mum came and she said, is this where you're living? My mum was like, oh, like some people, come on, the landlord, how can he give this house to students? Like, does his house look like this? I thought, wow. I didn't even live in that house, like, let me tell you that for free. I was barely, sorry, I'm new to this sneeze, you know, it's 'tis the season. But anyway, I was barely in the house. Oh my gosh, I can't guys, I really can't, because that house makes me feel sick. And that's the end of the story. So the end of the story, the moral of the story, I don't know what it is that, well, we all found out that I'm just stupid, because DP, I lost £700 and I had to pay more money on top. I had to pay agents. I don't want to talk about it, because that was just an L, as in that was just a big L. One of my many L's of 2015. As in 2015 was a year of L's, a year of wow. The moral of the story is, for those that are maybe uni looking for housing, or just looking for housing in general, be smart, be vigilant. Like, when your instinct is telling you something, like, run with it. Listen, don't be putting no money down for a house you ain't seen. And if you're only speaking to one person all the time, then there's a problem. If you can't go and view the house, there's a problem. I mean, there was just so many signs. And you know, if you feel like something's a bit dodgy, if you have a credit card, or someone has a credit card, use your credit card instead of using your debit card, because more time with a credit card you get your money back in it. But guys, as in, that's just one of my many stories to do with housing and uni. As in, I can't lie to you guys, my uni experience with housing has never ever run smoothly. I think, you know, but anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time about the time I got scammed out of £700. Yay. I will be doing more story times. I feel like I should do story times with friends, because I have some stories, but they need my fellow counterparts so you can really get the full flavor, the real gist of the story. But anyway guys, I hope you guys liked it. It's a bit of a long lengthy video, yeah, and I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas, because I should be putting this out on Boxing Day. So I hope you guys had a good Christmas, you know, you ate well, you drank well, you did whatever you did. So I hope you had a nice day with friends, family, however you spent it. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, retweet, all of that. So yeah, bye.